Spending time with those loved ones, multiple medications of these pains that I've been feeling. Thanks for all that you've done for the years. It's sympathetic and I know I feel. See how it looks and I know why I know things that actually feel. Think I do know how to believe in me. I believe in love. We're all learning in our own journey to find peace with the companions of loving. These compositions for myself, composed and hope for composure to the in my mind. I am one of the biggest fans of music. With the admiration for the creative act. To be drawn by consumers for the capitalization. We're running for citizens, rivers, and paces, space bars, make a paragraph, make these songs that I'm in love with the song. Broken hearts, broken souls, broken beats, and alone with the home for the break beats, and this is the heart, but I know the name for the hardest of the home, feeling homeless and attacked. Haven't been sleeping too well for the worries of life, and I've been knocking on this door for days. Can't and won't let it end for the homeless where the heart is isolated with the island with the heart. Soul in your brain is the teacher. You know that I have no need for the Adderall. All counts to vision in the oxygen. More focus in everything in my life, and I need that, but not need for my life, and I need to get the contest with the door knife, and I want to tell you about my heartbeat. Sometimes I've been hurt to hear before, and I feel that, but I can now roll away from disturbing and frustrated with loss. These are moments of embrace. You find pieces of self like you are intelligent through the betrayal and trust. I call people gentle because it's more safe to say I'm too innocent, but not good. Straight for the happy in my life, I haven't been sleeping with. I'm distracted. Silence and darkness, knowing that I'm the light. Came from the darkness and I will return from behind from you. There's more dark matter than ever matter. You can read your subconscious. Every difference begins to see the negative and the positive, the positive with the life of the consciousness of what it be. I am not allowed to never be with the way I felt. Only for the journeys and written, the time for the journeys to be born. Eternal for the fear of the unknown. Appreciate how eternals. Call this business, but I want to consider the race of the music notes. Read them outside to the loud my diary. Because I've been dying slow my compositions and those compos. Because she didn't take it away from me to hers. And she didn't receive not someone to accept the present or gift. That's life and that's the gravity. Waiting for waiters. Recognition waits to be weightless and uplifted. Others will hold you down for the treasure. What's the loss now? That's what's been not forgotten. Don't forget under the dark before my face and the surface of what you stand to in the times like that. So spending time with those loved ones, multiple. I wanna be loved for you, just you. That lifestyle. Nobody else streams and device. I wanna be loved for you. Tune. That lifestyle. Seasons on streams and device. Tune. That lifestyle. Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids in the space like satellites for the wife that looking for the connection to my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi I like the most that I can show. Most likely to adapt to the adversity. Black Panthers and karate movies and gaming parties. Funk and films. Spike Leaf without drink a fifth. Feeling me for the reboot. Repenting and pleading the fifth and doing these things. God knows what I need for the 5%. Know that a God needs and needs it. A God is with the who know. Seasons on streams and device. Tune, filling voids in the space like satellites for the white that looking for the connection to my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi I like the most that I can show. Most likely. Tune, that lifestyle. Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids in the space like satellites for the white that looking for the connection to my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi I like the most that I can show. Most likely to adapt to the adversity. Black Panthers and karate movies and gaming parties. Funk and films by Spike Leaf without drink a fifth. Been a need for the reboot. Repenting, depleting the fifth and bending the knees. God knows what I need for the 5%. Know that a God needs and needs, and a God is with the who no longer be for the needs besides the love. It's not about me. It's more like love is in need. We are drawn to it like innocent kids with imagination and white walls learning how to behave. Ignoring the actions and outlets and anger can be one-sided as a door for patriarchy. Entering squat, drawing gray lines and anti-gray matter. This is all must be bookmarked for the comprehension, the riots and the arrested. Booked on the bookshelf. Be released early on the good behavior for the food for thought. No patience and no waiter for no balance. And no taters, no flavor, no God, no taste. No flavor, no tongue. No feelings, no savor. No hope, no savior. No drugs, no raver.
No beard, no shavers. No road, no papers, no self-care, instead of avoiding the caretakers. No water, no Lakers. Broken beats and no breakers. No job and no breaks. No scene and no takes. Don't leave and I don't need a rake. Can be alive and no funerals and no wakes. Can't beat the best buds but no shake. When where I'm from, for the more, for the dark matter, but doesn't matter. I think you can think your subconscious and darkest tell you what you think and what we can see. Negative of the positive, people like consciousness and what's allowed you to see what came for the water, for the gloom. It was all but I see. All I knew was darkness and my eyes were closed. I still can't see these for the melodies and melancholy. Joy was you with questions of words and the reasons. Balance and understanding for the adaptation of the seasons, and we are all as one. All is us, we are. Cosmic, we are a child. That came from a sun. We connected with the disconnected passing time orbits. Law of gravity, despite that we all grew up. Eventually love, integrity. How do you look at that yourself for the river? But what do you see? What do you look at when the how do we feel? When I'm a blind witness in the wit, most mistaken, but not the point. Making we often point a figure to make a point across. And like the top of a cathedral, I'm being told Catholic, and this is the most alcoholic and suiting the minor injuries, and we can all fall scrapes on the ground, finding it more common than the common ground. We request upon the expect of the adventures and to be the same as mine. Do you really understand reality? For the perception makes an ass out of you for the just an opinion, but I'm open to discussion, just discussing or cussing around with the children. Appreciate the outer terminals when I call this and not the release because I don't want to consider it. These are intuitively dreams and streams. These are the bending knees because God knows 5% for this is no longer having the needs.
Tune that lifestyle. Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids into space like satellites for the wife that looking for the connection but my Wi-Fi. Or wifey I like the most that I can show. Most likely for the adapt to the adversity. Black Panthers and karate movies and guinea parties. Crunking films by Spike Lee for the out, drink a fifth. Been a need for the review. Repenting completing the fifth and bending the knees. God knows what I need for the 5%. Know that a guy needs a needs and a God is a rhythm who knows. Long beat for the needs besides the love, it's not about me. It's more like love is a need. We are drawn to it like innocent kids with imagination and white walls learning how to behave. Ignoring the actions and outlets and anger can be one-sided as a door for patriarchy. Entering squat, drawing gray lines and anti-gray matter. This is all meant to be bookmarked for the comprehension, the riots and the rested. Booked on the bookshelf. Be released early on the good behavior for the food for thought. No patience and no waiter for no balance. And no haters, no flavor, no God, no taste. No flavor, no tongue. No feelings, no savor. No hope, no savior. No drugs, no raver. No beard, no shavers. No road, no papers, no self-care, instead of avoiding the caretakers. No.
Tune that lifestyle. Tune that lifestyle. Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids in the space like
seasons on streams in the device.
Tune that lifestyle.
Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids in the space like satellites for the wife that looking for the connection but my Wi-Fi. Or wifey I like the most that I can show. Most likely for the adapt to the adversity. Black Panthers and karate movies and guinea parties. Crunking films by Spike Lee for the out, drink the fifth. Been a need for the review. Repenting completely fifth and bending the knees. God knows what I need for the 5%. Tune that lifestyle. Seasons on streams in the device. Filling voids into space like satellites for the wife that looking for the connection but my Wi-Fi. Or wifey I like the most that I can show. Most likely for the adapt to the adversity. Black Panthers and karate movies and guinea parties. Crunking films by Spike Lee for the out, drink a fifth. Been a need for the review. Repenting completing the fifth and bending the knees. God knows what I need for the 5%. Know that a God needs a needs and a God is a with the who knows. Long beat for the needs besides the love, it's not about me. It's more like love is a need. We are drawn to it like innocent kids with imagination and white walls learning how to behave. Ignoring the actions and outlets and anger can be one-sided as a door for patriarchy. Entering squat, drawing gray lines and anti-gray matter. This is all meant to be bookmarked for the comprehension, the riots and the rested. Booked on the bookshelf. Be released early on the good behavior for the food for thought. No patience and no waiter for no balance. And no taters, no flavor, no God, no taste. No flavor, no tongue. No feelings, no savor. No hope, no savior. No drugs, no raver. No beard, no shavers. No road, no papers, no self-care, instead of avoiding the caretakers. No water, no Lakers. Broken beats and no breakers. No job and no breaks. No scene and no takes. Don't leave and I don't need a rake. Can be alive and no funerals and no wakes. Can't leave the best buzz but no shakes. When around fun for the more for the dark night, but doesn't matter. The things you can fix is conscious and darkest tell you what you think you can see. Negative or positive people like consciousness and emotions allow you to see for the world for the good. It was all what I see. All I knew was darkness in my eyes were closed. I still can't see enjoy this shit with questions of ways and good reasons. Balance and understanding for the adaptation of the seasons that we are all as one. All as us we are. Cosmic we are a child. That came from the sun. We connected with the disconnected passing time orbits. The law of gravity, despite that we all grew. Eventually in every event mutually love. Integrity. How do you look at that yourself for the bigger? What do you see? What do you look at when the how do you feel? When I'm a blind witness and the wit. Most mistakenly, not the point. Making me often point the figure to make a point across. Like the top of a cathedral, I'm being told cathartic. And this is the most alcoholic and seeing the minor injuries, and we can all fall scrapes on the ground, finding it more common than a common ground. We request upon the expect of the adventures and be the same as mine. Do you really understand reality for the perception makes an ass out of? You for the distant opinion, but I'm open to discussion, just discussing your cussing around with the children. Appreciate the outer turn emotion. I call this and not the release because I don't want to consider. These are intuitive dreams and streams. These are the bending needs because God knows 5% for this is no longer having the needs.
That little witch here has an empathy for one. That little witch here has an empathy for one. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take two of the roots. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take two of the roots. This knowledge and pedal for the pit food of the vomit. For the touches and resources as he would look to. Right that for the marker, I want that bush to light. And we press him to the happiness meant for going the place that God is God and taking down sun with him. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take two of the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the pit food of the vomit. Total for the touches and resources as he would look to. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take two of the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the pit food of the vomit. Total for the touches and resources as he would look to. Right back for the market. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take two of the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the pit food of the vomit. Total for the clutches and resources as he would look to. Sprite that for the marker, I want that bush to light. The anguish to depress him to the hot to dismantle the only the place that God is God and taking down the sun with him. Into the wind and wasting of the dark. I want it for the jig of the time, for the dance troupe, for the wild plant that I should be the partner to. Part, which man can suffer from the closing arms. Joined by music and he knows who waiting for the breath draws. Poet, the lover's lover, the stranger, the father, the king. Those foes of the frenzy. I want them night for the deprivation, but beyond the touch of grace and haven. I want that speech for their species, silent, secret, human, touching. I want to range the profound and timeless. Frost flame for the intruders in the shelter, beats and love for the brother, for the eye, beats drawn and tails for enough to children. Weathers and wounds, enough to blind you. I want to flaw for the kids to see. Weak, like us, shaking. That little witch here has That little witch here has an empathy. That little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take to the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the food of the vomit. Total for the clutches and resources as that little witch here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take to the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the food of the vomit. Total for the clutches and resources as he would look to. Right back, mother, I want that bush to light. Anguish to depress him to the please that little wish here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take to it. That little wish here has an empathy for wanting to treat and take to it. That clutches and be sources as he would look to. Right that for the mother, I want that bush to be right. Anguish to the press him to the hotly dismantled and only the place that God is God to take it down. That little wish that has an envy for wanting to treat and take to the roots. Earth dislodge and pedal for the thick food to find it. Put it in the clutches and be sources as he would look to. Sprite that for the marker, I want that bush to light. And anguish to the press him to the hotly dismantled for only the place that God is God to take it down. The sun with him. Into the wind and wasting of the dark. I want it for the jig at the time, for the dance too, for the wild plant that I should be the partner to. Part, which man can suffer for the closing arms. Joined by music and he knows who wait for the breath draws. A poet beloved, a lover, the stranger, the falling of the cape. Those are foes of the frenzy. I want them knife for the deprivation, the beyond for the country, grace and haven. I want that speech for there to be speechless, silent, secret, human, touching. I want a range for profound and timeless. Frost flame for those who've been chosen to shall it be someone for the brother for the eye when drawn and tells it enough to chill you. Weathers and wounds, enough to blind you. I want a flaw for the fiercely singing, bleak, like us shaking. Find in the truth, sometime, someday we will make sense to it. I stood it was clocking in without that for the portrait of an intellectual man who might be a school teacher, shown with the utmost for the seriousness and masculinity for the drama for the harness of the black glitter, eyeglass, firm stance, how altered. You could be for the woods and you could be the country. How fun it would be for that to be the picture for the pet, or the world for the grass, for the groves, the water, for edge and leaves, the woods and brown earth. Though for the thin grass, though for the leading places of vacation, to be started for the stations and small. Embrace, infraction of a point, we were lost for the childish to hear. We are addressed only after that for the flat bottom lake boat. We know hope. What's to share? You can browse that back for this will be the issue. This will be the collaboration between love and hate. This would be the boards of the lake for the bending of the parkway for the breeze and the movements among the perimeter towards the vacation, the circle that is visible. That ghosting, that's will not be explained. Though for the witchy, the poach, and this to be the animal locked across, and this is the soft for the eyes, the vacation to end the loop for the ignorant, be the animal for the ignorant. Enter that mind for the dawn, for the iron of the locomotive, for the iron bridge of the edge of the city. This is the underpinnings of what has a structure, barely for the barely eyes, bare eyes of the woods, relationship the sun for the earth. It is nothing but the sea in the morning, and it shall find it brightening. It's love from the unbearable impact for the conviction of the beds of the defeated, for the children, the waking up for the best defeated as the day breaks upon the million. You wait, you listen solid for the solitude. It will be still as solid like solid rocks, soldered, to be loved, been backed by bloom.
That little witcher has an impetus for wanting to treat and take to the roots. Earth dislodge the petal for the pith fruited defrauded. Total for the clutches and be sourcing as he would look to. Sprite that for the marker, I want that bush to light. And anguish to the press him to the hotly dismantled, only the place that God has died, taking down the sun with him. Into the wind and wasting of the dark. I want it for the jig at the time, for the dance too, for the wild plant that I should be the partner true. Part, which man can suffer for the closing arms. Joined by music and he knows who wait for the breath draws. A poet beloved, a lover, a stranger, the fall of the cape. Those are foes of a frenzy. I want them knife for the deprivation, the beyond for the country, grace and hate. I want that speech for there to be speechless, silent, secret, human, touching. I want a range for the profound and timeless. Frost flavor, green truth and shelling. Someone for the brother for the eye, bring the frown and tells it enough to chill you. Weathers and wounds, enough to blind you. I want a flaw for the fiercely sinking, bleak, like us shaking. It would all be defined in truth, and sometime, someday we will make sense to it. As though it was clocking in without that for the portrait of an intellectual man who might be a school teacher, shown with the utmost for the seriousness and masculinity for the drama for the hardness of the black glitter, eyeglass, firm stance, how altered. You could be for the woods and you could be the country. How fun it would be for that to be the picture for the pet, or the world for the grass, for the groves, the water, for edge and the woods, the brown earth, though for the thin grass.
Though for the leading places of vacation, to distorted for the stations in small. Embrace, infraction of a point. We were lost with the childish of here. We are addressed only after that the flat bottom lake boat. We know hope. What's to share? You can browse that back for this is the issue. This would be the collaboration between love and hate. This would be the boards of the lake for the benefit, the parkway for the breeze, and the movements, the mother primitive, the vacation, the circle is visible. That goes, that would not be explained. Though for the region of coach, this would be the animal locked across it. This is the soft for the eyes, vacation to interlude for the ignorant, be the animal for the ignorant. Enter that mind for the dawn, for the iron, and the locomotive for the iron bridge, and the engine of the city. This is the underpinnings of what has a structure. Barely for the barely eyes, bare eyes for the bosom, relationship of the sun for the earth. And there's nothing but the sea in the morning when it should find it bright. It's enough from the unbearable impact of the conviction of the beds, of the defeated for the children, waking up for the best defeated as the day breaks upon the million. And wait, this is solid for the solitude. The steel is solid like solid. Solder. That little which shall have to end with the one who take to the roots. Earth dislodge, pedal with the food of the body. All of the touches and resources as he will look to. Sprite that for the mother, I want that bliss. Wait, which from casting to the height of this man, but only the place that God is dying to the sun. Into the window, wasting of the dark. I went over the taking time for the dance to the wild man, not to be the part of truth. Heart, which may be something for the close arms. Join my music and he knows when the weight for the breath draws. Holding the levels, lover the stranger, the fellow, the king. Those and those. I want the knife.